Welcome back to another episode of Goldis Market and Geopolitical Updates. It has been a while, lots has happened, so let's talk about it. But I'm warning you, this video is going to take a little longer, so if you're not interested in what's going on around you, scroll. First, I want to talk about tariffs, because tariffs are nothing else than sanctioning yourself. Let me explain. If you impose tariffs on imports, especially if you are a country that heavily relies on imports, all you're doing is you tax your own citizen. Because what you did now is your citizen could have had this product for cheaper, but now they have to pay more for it because of you imposed tariff. And the funny thing is, if you impose a tariff on, let's say, China, but you rely on imports from China, all China will do is they will sell that product without a tariff to, for example, Mexico or Canada, which will rebrand it, put a sticker on it, made in Mexico, and then sell it for a bit more expensive to the US. Which is why I'm calling it a reverse sanction. Because you're not sanctioning that country, you're not hurting that country with the tariff, you're hurting yourself. However, there is some benefits to tariffs. Just like with everything in economics, you have choices and every choice has benefits and drawbacks. So the benefits of tariffs are minimal, but there are some. One, you don't have to actually impose the tariff. Just the threat of it will hopefully increase manufacturing inside your country as preparation for that. And two, it will create jobs. So the inflation will be higher, your citizens will be poorer, but what you can show off is that, oh, look, manufacturing is coming back to the US because of these imposed tariffs. Doesn't change the fact that your citizens are poor. Just on paper, it looks better. The thing is, those things take years. Especially bringing manufacturing back to the US will take another decade. And it just doesn't happen overnight, and certainly not in one presidential term. So let's continue talking about tariffs, because there is a proposed 100% tariff on BRICS nations. So I don't know what we're trying to accomplish with that, but the reason BRICS or the BRICS nations are distancing themselves from the US is because of the weaponization of the dollar. They had enough being bullied around and have sanctions imposed on them by weaponizing the world currency. So threatening them with a 100% tariff is just going to accelerate that. What I'm saying is, you can't threaten a country like China and continuously say, oh, we will be at war with said country in 10 years from now, and then do something like this. Because all those threats and weaponizing the dollar did was bring Russia and China, our strategic enemies, together. It destroyed the petrodollar, sending OPEC into the arms of China and Russia, and it's destroying Europe, because Europe relies on these commodity producing countries. So what the US is doing right now, and let's get to the geopolitical part, is they rely on a phantom that US once was. Back in the 90s, relying on your military strength, bullying every small country in the world, imposing your will on them, sure, that would have worked. But the 90s, the US of the 90s is not anymore. And what you have to understand is that, let's call it the deep state, is not one entity. There's not like one smoke-filled star chamber room where all evil people meet and have the same agenda. There's at least three factions. You have the globalists, the military-industrial complex, and the Z-ionists. And for the past few years, the globalists and the military-industrial complex effed up big in the world. They want war in Ukraine because they want to hurt Russia. They want to pick it apart and then continue hurting China and do the same there so they can rule forever. An hegemon can continue forever, and they can continue exporting feminism and butt X to the entire world. imposing their will however they want. See what happened with COVID. That's what it was. It was a trial run of the globalist agenda. The military-industrial complex benefits from that because they get all the wars they can dream of to make all the money they want. And they want to continue the system because they're lining up their pockets at the cost of human lives. So now we have the Zionist faction, which is not happy at all with the globalists. And they wanted this guy to win because they need to drag the US into a war with Iran so the US can fight that war for them. Because on their own, they can't accomplish pretty much anything. And that's why they needed a strong leader and someone who can hopefully rally up the US so they can go to war and fight the wars for the Zionists somewhere in the Middle East to absolutely zero benefit to America. And that's the question, right? What is the benefit? What should happen? Well, what should happen is that the US has to stop relying on their military strength and just pack their things and go home. Stop these wars. There is no benefit to America getting involved in any of this. There's enough problems inside America that you have to work on. And I'm gonna go into that now. The days of piling on more debt and having no inflation, exporting your inflation to other countries is over. Those days are over. What has to happen is you have to secure your borders, deal with the illegals inside your country and the cartels and criminals that are running rampant inside your country. And you have to welcome the BRICS countries with open arms. Not threaten them. Not threaten them with war. Not threaten them with tariffs or sanctions. Stop. Just stop it. They want to trade with you. They want to share this planet with you. And the US crumbling, which it is right now, financially especially, it's not in the benefit of any other country in the world. They want to trade with the US. But these policies and this thinking is just destroying that. And when we come to the financial crisis that will start next year, the only way to get out of inflation, because ultimately inflation is what will destroy the US economy, the only way to get out of it is to cut spending. Not just cut some benefits here and there, no. You have to cut spending to the bone. You have to stop borrowing and stop printing money and cut spending. Party time is over. Now it's time to get the hangover and recover. But those will create extremely hard times. And cutting spending to the bone is not politically viable. And here's why. Because of universal suffrage. Because if you have a man who maybe wants to do the right thing, if he does do the right thing, you will see commercials and news, and you will see old grand how she can't afford food anymore. And you will see this single mom with 5 kids not being able to afford anything anymore, all thanks to the man who wanted to better the situation in the country and save the country. And it's extremely hard to prove something that did not happen. All people will see, who are also able to vote, is what they now lost. And they will vote against that. So the very same people you're trying to save are the same people that do not want to be saved. They will continue to vote for the welfare that they didn't earn, and for policies and laws and social changes that further destroy the nation. So the hard times will come, and hopefully we will get out of them stronger and better than before. If you're interested in learning how all this stuff works, I wrote this book right here, Awakening, where I explain basically everything that I explained in short in this video. Thank you.